I think we could hear us. You never do know. Oh. Palmer, say something so I can check if I can hear you.
Hello, testing 1 2 4 3.
Did you have to get your shoes and socks off then to know what to count to?
Yeah. Hello. Good evening, all. Or good morning, or good afternoon, depending on when you're listening to us. And we are watching along on this fine Thursday evening to the Oxford Spires versus the Sheffield Tigers in a Premiership clash. Um, just before I introduce my co-commentator, I have to say, Peter Shrek, that Gillette's hanging on by a thread, pal.
You mentioned that, I've just noticed a screw up on the thumbnail, but we'll ignore the fact that the Leicester and Kingsley logos are on there.
I didn't do it this week either.
You,
Get in.
you didn't do it this week, no. Although we've known for most of the day the Oxford guest, and we ain't changed that one either because can't be arsed and all that.
Full on professionalism here at Shoots and Shale.
You got a point. You have a point. Should we have a look at the teams? We have got Alan with us, our work experience boy from community service, but at the minute he's dead.
R.I.P. in pieces.
What do you want to bring us through the away team first, Palmer?
So, riding for the Sheffield Tigers, my nearest and dearest in the Premiership. Their number one won the Grand Prix actually last weekend, Jack Calder. A very deserved Grand Prix win for the Australian. Now, number two is Ginger is Anders Rowe. He likes to score points. At number three is Josh Pickering. Number four is Justin Sedgman. He kind of just exists nowadays. At number five is Chris Holder. And number six is Lewis Kerr. And number seven is Leon Flint.
You're harder to watch for
And
the Tigers.
let me get the graphic up on my mobile device because I've forgotten who I said I was going to pick. Where are you? You
Oh,
are there.
God.
No, I don't want to create another group.
You got enough of them.
My man to watch was Anders Rowe because he is ginger and he scores a lot of points.
I've gone for Lewis Kerr. He was fantastic at Kings Lynn the other night on his former home track, and this is another former home track for him. And I think he's trying to prove a point because a lot of people are saying he's not doing well, especially the Pool fans putting pressure on, and I think he's out to prove a point at both levels.
I disagree with that much. If you'd be ever so kind to take us down the Spires.
For the Oxford Bet Goodwin Spires, what a name that is if you've had a beer. They're led at number one by Matt Sayanovsky. There's a change at number two with Craig Cook ruled out with the flu. And Zach Cook steps in as a guest. Eric Riss rides at 3. Rowan Tungate rides at 4, fresh off a fight with his teammate in Poland the other day with Nicky Pedersen. Charles Wright rides at 5 after securing the wildcard for the British Grand Prix at Manchester in a few weeks. Peter Kilderman drops to number 6, and Luke Killian is the rising star. Palmer, your Spire to watch.
I've gone for Rowan Tungate. I think, he needs to really step up, and now is the time for him to step up. And if he doesn't step up, he'll be having fights with more than just Nicky Pedersen.
I've gone for Peter Kilderman to have a rider with that experience who is just starting to find some form now at reserve as well. Former Grand Prix rider. Not started the season the best, but if you can find some consistency, certainly at number 6, he's a standout rider to have. Has Alan got his computer working yet? Well, he's muted, so I think not.
It doesn't look good, bruv.
It doesn't. Do you want to run us down the lineups from Foxhall of the other meeting that's taking place tonight, Palmer? Whilst that's the one Alan will be covering as long as his computer works.
Yeah. Al, tell your computer to work. Ipswich. Ipswich versus Leicester. So, Foxhall Heath tonight, managed by Richie Hawkins, rider replacement at number 1 for Jason Doyle. Danny King goes at 2, Adam Ellis at 3, Tom Brennan at 4, Emil Saifuddinov at number 5, Daniel Hume guest for Dan Thompson at number 6, and at number 7 is Jordan Jenkins. For the Leicester Lions, managed by my drinking buddy Jen Crossland, Max Frick rides at number 1, Luke Becker at 2, Ryan Douglas at 3, Kyle Howarth at 4, Sam Masters at 5, Drew Kemp at 6, Joe Thompson at 7.
Should we do some impromptu riders to watch for that and score predictions?
One to watch at Ipswich, I'm going to go for Christina Turnbull, the referee.
Up the trudge bull.
I think for Ipswich, I'm going to have to go for Tom Brennan. He started the season on in good form. His form's probably dipped a little bit now, and now obviously Ipswich have lost the number 1. They're going to need all the boys to step up that little extra gear, and Tom could be a key man if Ipswich are to win this evening's contest at Foxhall.
For Ipswich, I'm going to go for Jordan Jenkins. Watched him at Birmingham on Monday and he was absolutely fantastic. Put on his social media that he's changed a few things, new engines, he's gone back to old seats as well, which seemed to make a difference, and he was riding full of confidence as well. And I think he'll need to be in good form tonight against Drew and Joe, and I think he's got that potential, especially good reserve. Can win or lose your meetings, and with all due respect to Bob, riding with Daniel Hume and riding with Dan Thompson is 2 different prospects, especially around Foxhall.
Yeah, 100%. Cannot disagree with that.
And your Leicester man to watch? Jen, because you went out drinking with her in Poland.
Yes, she bought me a beer. I've gone for Luke Becker. I think obviously he's done really well so far this season. Again, much like Brennan, to be fair, he's dipped a little bit. He was pretty poor on his own circuit last week. So, again, now's the time to step up.
I'm going to go with Drew Kemp. Obviously, former Ipswich rider, almost cut his teeth around Foxhall. Spent many years with Ipswich, so knows the track inside out. And his form's a bit hit and miss. He's either really good or really not. But against Daniel Hume and potentially Jordan Jenkins, because up until Monday his form hasn't been fantastic. If JJ steps it back a touch, then I think Drew will flourish at number 6. It's certainly against his opposite numbers.
Yeah, I disagree with that, the old cherub.
Score prediction for that one, Palmer. Whack you right on the fence now.
Oh, even without Doyley and Dan, I do think Ipswich have a lot in the tank, so I'm going to go for 55-35 to Ipswich.
Yeah, they had some bad luck the other night. They still won by 8 points on Monday without Emil. Danny King didn't have his best night. Emil didn't have his best night, and Brennan didn't have his best night either. All 3 of them broke down whilst leading a race, as did Adam Ellis. So that scoreline's a little bit false, but I think overall the team is solid enough. I do think Leicester will give them something to think about. I'm going to go Ipswich by 6. I think Ipswich will win it 48-42. Is this the second meeting between these or the first one?
It's the second leg, because I know Ipswich have, I'll tell you now, A 49-41 point lead.
So Leicester need to win by 10 or more to get all 3 points available.
And if Leicester do win by 10, Ipswich have had a very, very poor night by our standards.
But Jason Doyle, especially around Foxhall, but anywhere really, even with RR, with a team like Ipswich have got, Jason Doyle's hard to replace. But for me, I think Dan Thompson is even harder to replace.
Yeah, I mean, obviously everybody can take a ride for Doyle at number one as an RR. But I think it's, I think it's safe to say Dan has been the standout reserve this season in the Premiership. So when you've got a free scoring reserve that will go and grab you 10 to 12 points every home meeting, to go and have to use somebody that's probably going to get you 2 points is a tough pill to swallow.
I don't even think Dan's been the best rider in the Premiership. For me, he's been the standout rider of British Speedway this season, and maybe in the lower leagues, Cooper Russian, but overall British Speedway in the professional leagues, Dan Thompson's been that standout rider. I know it's hard to talk about for you, but he was fantastic and the catalyst for the Glasgow Superheat win as well at Scunny the other day.
What on earth was BSN showing us there? What was that? But yeah, no. Dan come and he ripped Scunny apart last week. I'd like to think as a team we've learnt some lessons from that. So, but no, I mean, obviously I was out in Poland getting drunk, so I didn't really get to see the meeting live. But I've watched it back, and he was phenomenal. He really was.
And a score prediction for this one?
I think we're all going along the same lines here with a Sheffield win. It's just by how many. And I'm going to have Sheffield by 14, 38-52.
That's a big one. I will say Sheffield by 12. I think the option of having Peter Kilderman have 7 rides, and if he's on form like he was last time Oxford were here, or last Oxford meeting generally as well, he was good. I think he'll clean up at reserve, but I do think Sheffield have just got that little bit too much in the tank. And we can tell you actually that the gates, Josh Pickering won the toss for Sheffield and opted to go for 15. Matt Sayanovsky, ever the informative bloke, said, well, it depends how gate 4 looks, and then chose 1 and 3.
Yeah.
What a boy. Normal rolls tonight. I don't know if Alan's computer's working yet or not. Al, can you tell us whether you're alive, whether you're dead, whether you're working, whether you're at the job centre?
I'm not at the job centre, I am here.
He's bloody here. What a boy.
Oh, technical difficulties.
Go on then, Al, quickly while we've got a minute. Riders to watch for both meetings and score predictions for both meetings. Go.
Okay, so for Ipswich, I'm going to go for Adam Willis. Just given his form at the British final, he was pretty darn good. And for Leicester, I'm going to copy Dill. I'm going for Drew Kemp because he was really good at the British final.
Are you basing these on the British final? Does that mean you're not going to pick like Matt Sayanovsky or Rowan Tungate for this meeting here because they're not British?
Not the. I'll let me get to that.
To be fair, I think Cal's only picked Adam Ellis as his rider to watch because he's trying to brown nose me.
Is that because he's coming down to Scunny tomorrow and he don't want you to lock him in the boot or something?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And score prediction for that one, I'm going to go 50-40. Ipswich.
For the one we're watching now, riders to watch and score prediction.
Rider to watch for Sheffield, I'm going to surprise you both. I'm going to go for Leon Flint for Sheffield.
That's not a surprise.
Of course you are.
He's a Ouija's rider, that's why you've gone for him.
It's not because he's a Ouija's rider, it's because he's been very good at Rising Star this season so far. And he's probably the best Rising Star in the Premiership at the minute. And as for Oxford, I'm gonna go Craig Cook.
He's not here.
Craig Cook's not here.
Oh, he's not here.
Oh,
As I'm reading it on BSN, that's my fault. Okay. I'll go for Charles Wright.
because of the British final.
Oh, just because he's been in good form lately. That's all.
And a score
I'm not his
prediction.
biggest fan, but let's go 48-42 to Sheffield.
And have you got Gates from Ipswich yet, Al?
I will check for you now, sir. Button. I'm not seeing anything at the moment.
Check updates.
Suggest the
They
Gates.
normally put it on.
Yeah,
There
that's
isn't.
what I'm gonna do now.
There's any help out. There isn't anything on updates.
Well, there you go.
We'll have Alan back after. But we're getting ready for Eat One Palmer. Normal jobs tonight as well. You get to do the more talking. I get to do my normal job. Al gets to be Al. Giving him an easy night, being as he's off on his travels tomorrow for the week.
Well, if Al can't join us on time, imagine what he's like with the trains.
Christ. You waiting for that message tomorrow? I can't come to Scuddy Palmer. I've missed my train.
I'm already mentally prepared for it.
Ready for your message. What a penis.
Well, it might not quite be that message.
Should be a good meeting. This Josh Pickering said in the build up to the meeting that this was the best prepared he's seen this track for a while. So hopefully
Number one
that
in
stays
place
like
of
that.
It does look well prepared. It looks very well watered.
Does
Not
look
quite
very well
scunny levels of water, but it looks very well watered. And a well watered track normally tends to mean decent racing.
You have a point.
Normally, got more points than what Glasgow got from Scunny, and that was a lot. Still hurts.
Still hurts, damn it.
If Alan mentions it at Scunny tomorrow, he's been booted out of the stadium.
By their centre green presenter.
Yes.
So the riders are coming down to tapes for heat number 1. The full lineup going off the inside gate in blue. The guest for the Spires, Zach Cook. Gate 2 in yellow. One of the better riders of the season so far across the entire league, Anders Rowe. Gate 3 in red is the Oxford Spires captain, Matt Zainowski. And off the outside in white is the Warsaw Grand Prix winner, Jack Holder.
That it is, yeah.
And you've got the pool teammates off gates 1 and 2 as well here.
You have?
There's a lot of
bit
pool
like-
connections in this race actually, because Magic and Jack have both ridden for them as well.
They actually have, haven't they? Who'd have thought? But yeah, start actually walking away for heat number 1. The tapes rider where we've got some brilliant start there from Anders Rowe in yellow, but it is the rider in blue. Zach Cook gets there first, and now Jack Holder's looking to come round the outside here of Zach Cook, and Cook is that holds the lead. Magic Janoski absolutely appalling at the back. Now Anders Rowe looking to come up and pass his teammate to get himself into the second place position, but it's not quite worked out yet. But what a dream start for the guest Zach Cook. Craig's probably wishing that was him right now, but Jack Holder now looking to go around the outside here in a very wise move there from Zach Cook to block Jack Holder now. Now Holder tries to go around the outside again. It's not quite worked out. Bloody goodness knows where Magic Janoski's gone, but he's got here, there, and everywhere. Oh, he's about 2 million miles at the back. But as we're coming to the final lap, this is a very well-ridden race here from Zach Cook. Jack Holder's giving in absolutely everything, but Zach's just got enough in the tank, I do believe, to take the win. Although Jack goes really, really wide around the outside, but Zach takes the win, and we share the spoils.
Jack was definitely the quicker then, but as we all know early in the meeting, you ain't going to get a lot moving off the white line, certainly in heat 1 as well.
That's Bellevue 3, Sheffield 3, Oxford 0.
Oh God. So the result of heat number 1 was a win for the rider in blue, Zach Cook. Second in white, Jack Calder, and third in yellow, Anders Rowe. Points divided 3 apiece, and that on BSN is sponsored by the Speedway Star, which was out today and has some very interesting articles in it.
That it has.
Really good start there from Zach, to be honest. And
That was a beautiful start. That.
when Paul were here against Oxford a few weeks ago in Heat 3, their first ride together, Zach Cook and Anders Rowe got a 5-1 there. This time it was essentially a Paul 4-2. But yeah, Zach knows his way around this track, doesn't he? And so does Anders. Magic was awful at the back, to be honest. There's no other way to put it.
Yeah, he's not been the rider this season that he was last season, and that's got to be very frustrating if you're an Oxford supporter about to suffer the first loss of 2 in 2 days.
Oh yeah, they're at Scunny tomorrow, aren't they?
I'm not saying I'm confident or anything. But,
I
yeah.
might buy that, to be honest. Might buy it. There's Ben
Wouldn't
in
bother.
Zach's pits. This will be an interesting race. Leon Flint, like Alan said, probably he is. There's no two ways about it. He's the best rising star in British Speedway at the moment. And Lewis Kerr, who's coming off the back of a page 17 score at Kings Lynn the other night. Peter Kilderman, who's in good form, and Luke Killeen is there. Heat 2 going off the inside gate in white for the Tigers. Lewis Kerr, gate 2 in red. Peter Kilderman, gate 3 in yellow is Leon Flint. And off the outside in blue, Luke Killeen, who's been copping a little bit of backlash from fans recently. Put on his social media the other day that he beats himself up enough and doesn't need supporters doing it. But if they're paying their hard-earned money and he's underperforming, then people are going to have an opinion, aren't they?
People pay the money, they're allowed to have an opinion. People have social media accounts, they're allowed to voice their opinion on social media. The best advice we could give to Luke Killeen is stop trying to kill everybody and don't be crap.
Yeah, and
Just
don't look at social media.
Just don't be crap and you won't get it. It's not hard.
And Leon Flint is guesting for Workington on Saturday against Edinburgh.
Yeah.
Ouija guesting for Workington against Edinburgh. And we were going to watch that, except Workington aren't bloody showing it.
No, because they're streaming crews at Glasgow for their under 21 SGP qualifying event thing. But here at Oxford in heat number 2, that's a beautiful start there for Lewis Kerr. But Peter Kilderman now looking to come around the outside there, and it's still Lewis Kerr in the front with Kilderman blasted himself now around this outside. But Leon Flint holding off. Leon Flint holding off Luke Killeen there, but Kilderman now looking again to come round the outside, and Kilderman's finding some speed around the outside, and it's going to take a very good defensive ride here from Lewis Kerr to keep Kilderman from coming round the outside, and just as we say that, Kilderman's done him just like that. Piece of cake, some may say. Luke Killeen's absolutely nowhere near, and if he could keep this form up for tomorrow, that would be great. Thanks, Luke, and all that jazz. But a great ride here from Peter Kilderman there as he comes round to take the last lap flag. He's got a very stylish style on him this evening, and yeah, Peter Kilderman going to take Oxford's second checkered flag of the evening.
And the Oxford fans, when he was in the main body, were calling for him to be sacked constantly because of his form, and the promotion have stuck by him. And to be fair, didn't make the gate down, but persevered with that outside line, and it's worked because he's won that at Canter once he'd passed Louis Kerr, and he found something working on the outside this early on. That's almost unheard of.
It is. I mean, Jack Calder tried that line in Heat 1 and he couldn't get it to work. So fair play to Peter Kilderman.
Result of Heat 2 was a win for the rider in red, Peter Kilderman. Second in white, Lewis Kerr, and third in yellow, Leon Flint. Again, points divided 3 apiece, puts us on 6 all progressively, and there's a big black cloud coming over the stadium.
That's not good.
Some may argue there's been a big black cloud over Oxford all season.
That or there've been loads of black cats just going under all the riders.
Yeah.
Oh, I could tell you all about walking under ladders. Don't do it.
You can tell us all about falling down manhole covers as well.
Yeah, do that. You get 6 months off work. It's great.
Oh, hot air balloon. Brilliant view from up there.
Just tried to watch the Speedway for free. Can't fault him.
Got the binoculars out and everything.
I'd do the same.
And with the speed he had there, Peter Kilderman's gonna. That's interesting. Dan Gilks, Leicester signed rider, is working for Peter Kilderman.
Who rides for Oxford?
Strange. In number 3, coming to the tapes now, Rowan Tungate needs to improve. He's been awful this year. There's no two ways about it. He's been shocking.
He's not been very good, has he?
Full lineup of Heat 3 going off the inside gate in blue, fresh off a scrap with Nicky Pedersen. Rowan Tungate, gate 2 in white, Josh Pickering, gate 3 in red, Eric Riss, and off the outside in yellow, Justin Sedgman.
That it is. Big Heat number 3 coming up.
What gate was Peter Kilderman on there? Was it gate 4?
It was 2.
2. So I've had a win off gate 1 and a win off gate 2 so far.
Well, if we're going in that direction, then Eric Riss is winning this one.
Risky, yeah. We will bring Alan in after Heat 4 for any updates from Ipswich.
You don't reckon this start marshal looks like the Fat Controller from Thomas the Tank from back in the day?
Yeah, I can't unsee that now. It's like that fella on the Danish speedway we watched last night that looked exactly a spitting image of Daniel Hume.
Daniel Hume with glasses.
And a funny accent.
Yeah.
Pico's the last
You
one
know
to
what it
settle. He's got to be pushing the limit here. It's got to be nearing the 2 minutes.
He can't be a million miles off, and just like that, he comes to tapes. So the start marshal walks away, the tapes are the way we go. It's a beautiful start there for both the Oxford boys, as it's Rowan Tungate that has the lead, followed down round by Eric Riss. Although it looks like Eric Riss is slowing up, and Josh Pickering's looking there to pounce, and Pico's pounced on Eric Riss there. And now what can Risky do? Risky back up the inside. This is a cracking race, and we're running a lap into this. Justin Sedgman's just there for poos and laughs. But Rowan Tungate's there, he's out front. He can go get himself a doner kebab, because no one's catching him, and the race is now on for second. Pico's trying absolutely everything to get round Eric Riss, but it's just not happening. It worked for Peter Kilderman, it's not working for Josh Pickering at the current point of time. It's still a little bit early on in the meeting, but Risky makes a little bit of a mistake there, but he's got enough breathing space between him and Josh Pickering, and this is going to be the first heat advantage of the evening for the Oxford Spires as Rowan Tungate comes round to take a much needed heat win.
And the two Oxford boys gated really well and got to the first turn. I thought they'd tripped each other over, which is why Pico was able to get past Risky early on, but then they've sorted it out. Riss took the inside, Rowan took the outside. He's just apologising to him now. To be fair, neither of the Sheffield boys were anywhere near, and the result of Heat 3 was a win for the rider in blue, Rowan Tungate. Second in red, Eric Riss, and third in white, Josh Pickering. 5-1 to Oxford, 11 points to 7 now the progressive score, and we will have the aggregate one in a moment. 44-64.
5 more to go. If you know, you know. If you don't know, get to know. Unless you are of a certain age, then don't get to know.
They almost tripped each other up here, which is what gave Pico the opportunity, but Risky believed in, and Risky lifted, but he believed in the line he was taking. And smart cutback as well, ran him wide, cut it straight back with Pico knowing he'd go wide, and he lifted as well. And Riss needed no second invitation. Justin Sedgman, as you said, was there for shits and giggles.
Poos and laughs, me old cherub. Poos and laughs. Yeah.
The track does look good. It looks like there's a lot of material on it as well.
At Rob Godfrey. An interesting looking heat number 5 coming up as well.
Got 4 first mush.
That's the one that I meant. Sorry. I'm still suffering with jet lag.
You were getting ready to go to Poland this time last week. Down at Leicestershire, were you? Well, me and Alan were doing a good old wash along.
Time really flies. I was talking to one of my pals that went, and it doesn't even feel like it was yesterday. He was in Leicester getting ready.
There's a reserve switching blue here. Peter Kilderman replaces Luke Killeen. I ain't
Not the
surprised
worst
by
thing.
that. Not surprised by that at all. And he's off the favoured inside gate. Nothing won from the outside yet. Full lineup of Heat 4, the reserve change in Gate 1 in blue is Peter Kilderman, Gate 2 in yellow Leon Flint, Gate 3 in red Charles Wright, and off the outside in white Chris Holder.
Chris Holder. So it is. BSM might want to get the graphic right. There we go. Thanks, Martin.
Ask and you shall receive.
Like Christmas. Yeah, heat number 4. Good Scott made that a little bit more interesting with Peter Kilderman coming in for Lucas Killeen.
Oh, we got a head-to-head as well. Chris Holder absolutely smashing Charles Wright on that.
To the surprise of absolutely nobody, because Charles Wright isn't really that good. That'd be all through.
Touch. I had a lovely nap earlier as well, I won't lie to you. Got 2 viewers, Palmer.
Well, if it's anything, one of them isn't me, so somebody is actually watching us. So, hello, good evening. Get yourselves in the comments. We don't bite unless you have cake. Unlike the Fat Controller, he's had loads of cakes and he's walked away. The tapes has risen. It's a brilliant start there from Leon Flint, who's got this lead at the current point of time. He's been chased down all the way by Peter Kilderman, and it's Charles Wright in third with Chris Holder now struggling at the back. Now Kilderman right up the inside there. Oh, Flint, a brilliant ride there. Now Flint back up the inside there with Kilderman. A brilliant race this already developing, and this is far from over. Kilderman goes that far wide, he's going to end up in Swindon. So say hello to Charlotte for me. But Flint is developed now in quite a big lead, and it's going to take something special to take this lead off him. Speaking of Charlotte, she's just Snapchatted me, so thanks for saying hello, Peter, for us. But yeah, Leon Flint riding a very good race here. He's just got the right line, and Wright is looking to go up the inside, but that could have been close. Would it be like Wrighty to take riders out, would it? Did I just say that out loud? But yeah, as I come down the back straight, there's a brilliant ride here from Leon Flint to take the win over the British GP's wildcard.
A brilliant first couple of laps from Leon to deal with Peter Kilderman, and then once Peter Kilderman went wide on the second turn of lap 2, Charles Wright came through. Leon was persisting with that mid-track to wide, and he was vulnerable. Charles Wright had that inside line working, but he just managed to hold on. But I thought he would have cut it back towards the inside on that last bend, and he didn't, and it nearly cost him that win. Result of Heat 4 was a win for the rider in yellow, Leon Flint, second in red, Charles Wright, and third in blue, Peter Kilderman. Points divided 3 apiece, makes the progressive scores after 4, Oxford 14, Sheffield 10, and on the old aggregate it is 47.67.
2 more to go.
What gate was Flinty on there?
2.
Gate 2 again. Nothing from the outside yet. Nothing from 3 or 4. 2 wins off 1, 2 off 2. Al, well, we've got a minute. Let's see what's going on at Ipswich, shall we?
Not a lot.
Oh. Are you looking on Speedway updates or BSN? Because Speedway updates might be quicker.
BSN don't even have any updates. That's why I'm getting it off Speedway updates. And we've managed to finish 1 race.
Oh.
So Ipswich won the toss, took gates 1 and 3 in heat number 1, and Emil Typhoonov came in as the rider replacement for Jason Doyle, and Luke Becker won heat number 1 with Danny King in second and Emil Typhoonov in third, but to make the score 3-all and 52-44 on aggregate. Heat 2 has been, it was 1 attempt so far, and Joe Thompson gated until they got to bend 3, and Joe Thompson made a complete mess of it, ended up on the ground, and got himself exploded. So
What
we're
a
now waiting on the rerun.
penis.
To the meeting, thank you.
It's that one, Drew Kemp.
Oh, and we'll bring Alan back in when there's a bit more going on there. Bartek Blair is talking to Flinty. And everyone's having a breather. Decent start, to be honest. Been a bit of good racing.
Been the best start to a meeting I've seen at Oxford for a while, so fair play.
And interestingly enough, the bulk of the points are coming from the middle order riders. Matt Sajanovski, number 1 for Oxford, 0. Chris Alder, number 5 for Sheffield, 0.
Yeah.
Pico, 1, the heat leader for the other heat leader for Sheffield. Eric Risk got a paid win, but the reserves are really making a difference here. That 6 and 1 from Sheffield compared to 4 and 1 from Oxford,
Peter Kilderman.
From Peter Kilderman, yeah, you can't even class it as Oxford because Luke Killian's got nothing from his one ride, and I'd imagine he'll come in heat 5 in place of Kilderman. Or 7.
Kilderman's not out till 7.
7. I know it was one of them. I know it's not 6. So it was just a 50-50 of whether it was going to be 5 or 7. I'd imagine Luke Killian will have 2 rides back to back in 7 and 8.
Gets his rides done and out of the way then, though, doesn't it?
Although this is Peter Schroep we're talking about, and he's not the sharpest tool in the box.
No. That means Luke Killian's probably going to have 7 rides now.
Heat 13 in place of Magic, Heat 15 for Charles Wright. Here we effing go.
Yeah.
See that for sensory. Brilliant sensory there. Did you know, Palmer, because they haven't mentioned it, Bartek Blair did a walk recently for the Ben Fund.
Did he do a walk for the Ben Fund? I haven't.
They haven't mentioned that. They really
I wasn't aware of that. So I'd be glad if somebody mentioned it.
Anything else happened at Ipswich, Al?
No, nothing yet. Still waiting on the rerun.
Ah, brilliant. That was short and sweet, Palmer.
Yep.
Short and sweet.
Sorry, boys.
Just like me. Short and sweet.
Well.
Sorry, a night with
Short
me.
part, Palmer.
It's more like it, Palmer. Yeah, his track looks decent. I think everywhere had a bit of rain yesterday, to be honest, and I think that's probably done the track well.
Yeah, that's for sure. You can't beat a bit of natural water in.
No, you can't. Right, next. Carry on out.
Alright, so Heat 2 was won by Gordon Jenkins with Drew Kemp in second and Bob or Daniel Newman in third.
Well in, Bob.
4-2 makes the scores 7-5 and 56-46 on aggregate.
What the witches?
At the moment, we don't know whether our next watch along is going to be Saturday or Monday midday. There will either be a watch along to the SGP2 qualifier from Glasgow on Saturday, or Leicester versus Birmingham at midday on Monday. We also have potentially a watch along on Wednesday for Oxford versus Scunny. Well, me and Alan could cover that to start with again, so you can cry in the corner.
Why do we put ourselves through this?
I'll be at it.
Oh yeah, Alan will be there. Palmer, it will have to be me and you, Mush.
Oh no!
Al ruining Shoot Some Shale.
How very dairy.
There's no meetings on Thursday now because of Leicester and Birmingham being rearranged to Monday because of Poland sticking a meeting on the same day, and rider availability would have been an issue. So Al, where are you going on your little tour?
Starting off in Gunthorpe for tomorrow night's meeting, and then we'll be there till probably Sunday, and then up to Birmingham for their match on Monday night, and then down to Oxford on Wednesday, and then finishing off in Redcar.
Middlesbrough.
Middlesbrough, Redcar, same difference.
Redcar's not the actual name of the place, Al. Middlesbrough.
You know,
Sorry, just outside of Middlesbrough.
it may as well be classed as Redcar because literally the building next to where the stadium is Redcar and Cleveland County Council offices. It's that close to Redcar, but it's actually in Middlesbrough.
Yeah. And Al's doing this entire journey by train and coach, even though he can drive.
And he has a fully functioning car.
Well, we don't know about that part. We know he's got his cereal box licence. We don't know if the car functions or not.
But yeah, you've got a
functions,
point.
Al.
It functions.
Yeah.
Blimey. The Ben 2 Barmy Army don't look overly barmy at the moment. Or much of an army for that matter. It's very sparse.
I think they're lying to us. They're on Ben 4.
They are on Ben 3. That little gap between Ben 3 and 4. Property maintenance, whoever that fella's name was. What a boy. Don't know who you are, don't know what you do, but what a boy. Is that Mitch McDermott on the spanners for Zach Cook?
Jokes has got rid of his crutches. He was on crutches this time last week.
He was. He's been to see a specialist today as well, I think he put on his Instagram story.
I said to him, just as I get rid of mine, it gets on his. He could have had mine.
Ever the gente, Palmer. Ever the gente.
Well,
anything happening at Ipswich?
I will refresh one moment.
Well, you may as well, Al.
Nothing yet at Ipswich.
Who's running that? Fucking Sally the Snail? What on earth is taking them so long?
It is a Christina Turnbull refereed event.
Jesus Christ.
And the texter is James, whoever that is.
Hi, James.
It's a fella called James.
Could be.
I love that Oxford have got a pit bay sign that literally says guest.
Guest. Great, isn't it?
They've literally thought of everything. So it's likely, I think being honest, it'll probably be Monday's midday meeting will be our next one we cover. Because there's a lot of funny names in that GP2 qualifier, although if that meeting's anywhere near as good as the under-21 final was, there should be some fantastic racing. We'll see. We'll decide. We may end up doing both, but we'll do one, certainly.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll see if we can be arsed on Saturday, but the plan at the moment will probably be to do Monday's midday one, with it being a bank holiday Monday. And to be fair, the last Leicester and Birmingham one we watched was a decent old scrap.
It was a very good meeting, wasn't it?
So, that is Mitch McDermott, isn't it? I ain't imagining this.
I'll be honest with you, I don't really know what he looks like.
I'm just going off the ball cap.
Fair enough, at least you're honest.
Interesting to see Francis Gusts being signed by... There has been so much happened since we last came on here, hasn't there? There's been sackings, leavings. Oscar Pollis has left Edinburgh. Michael Jepsen Jensen has left Birmingham. Birmingham are closing at the end of the year and will be dead and buried. Francis Gusts has been signed up by Oxford's Championship team. So much going on.
And if you're into your WWE, like I know myself and Mr. Diller, you ready for this news?
Oh, Christ.
Well, to be fair, you've probably seen it. WrestleMania 42 will reportedly no longer take place in New Orleans. The city will reportedly host Money in the Bank 2026 instead.
There's still hope for it to come to London then.
Nah.
Hashtag give us the WrestleMania we deserve.
I don't know, let's have it in...
Saudi Arabia, that's where they'll take it.
Birmingham Coach Station, because it's easy to get to. To be fair, I said the other day, when I was watching the GP, imagine a WrestleMania in a stadium in Poland.
Yeah. Here's the BSN fixture list coming up. This one tonight, obviously. Next Friday, the next on, Redcar and Oxford. We'll have a vested interest in that. And Alan will be at that. Monday the 2nd, a week from this Monday, Kings Lynn versus Ipswich. Thursday the 5th, TBC versus TBC. Two brilliant teams there in knockout cup action. The following night, Friday the 6th, it's Glasgow versus Poole. The following Wednesday is Poole versus Redcar, which I imagine there'll be a watch along because we have a vested interest in that one as well. Monday the 16th, Birmingham versus those wankers from Manchester. Wednesday the 18th is Oxford versus Edinburgh.
You leave Man United out of
I
this.
can't stand them either. So Wednesday the 18th, Oxford and Edinburgh. We'll probably watch that one as well because of Oxford Radio and all that. Thursday the 19th, Leicester versus Bellevue. Saturday the 21st, Berwick versus Redcar. We'll watch that from afar because we have a vested interest in that. Saturday the 28th, Berwick versus Workington. Back-to-back weeks at Berwick. And then Monday the 30th, Bellevue versus Ipswich. Our vested interest in Redcar is because of our recent D&D Media acquisitions, Palmer.
Yeah, that it is. It's nice to get the gig that we've got, and if anybody's watching that knows of anybody that wants like graphics and social media management doing, just let us know. We could sort it out. And I will mention it to them two riders that we was mentioning the other day at Scunthorpe tomorrow.
Line up 3-5 at the tapes then, going off into gate in yellow for Sheffield, Anders Rowe. Gate 2 in red, Eric Riss, a paid win first time out. Gate 3 in white, Jack Holder, who got second in Heat 1 but was quicker than the rider ahead. And off the outside in blue, Rowan Tungate, who won his first race, and I'll be honest, that's probably one of the only less than a handful of races he's won all season for Oxford.
Yeah, he hasn't won
a lot.
He hasn't won many this year, has he? His own Mr. Rohan.
He's another rider that divides people's opinions. Some people love him, some people can't stand him.
Justice for Josh.
Jack Alder will be hoping to make a better start. He was definitely quicker than Zach Cook in Heat 1, but just made a poor start and couldn't pass him. There is a line now starting to build up a bit wider, so he will have some options for that.
That we will. So, Heat number 5.
I don't like Rowan Tungate's chances here with no wins or from 3 or 4. I don't much fancy Jack Alder or Rowan Tungate here.
So, start my short way for Heat number 5. The tapes rise away. We go to a very good start there for the rider in red, Eric Riss, followed now by both the Sheffield boys as Tungate looks to go round the outside. Tungate round the outside of both Sheffield boys as Jack Alder pulls a wheelie, and now Tungate looking to go right round the outside and potentially even do his teammate in, able to diss Jack Alder. He's not the Jack Alder that rode on a very similar track over in Warsaw, in the Nawadowie over there. Love that place. But yeah, Eric Riss leading by example here, and Rowan Tungate certainly put in the fight as well to the Sheffield boys, as we've got a cracking view of the pits there. Cheers, BSN. Cheers, pal. And as Rowan Tungate goes round the outside, Eric Riss blocks him nicely as we're going to the final lap now. And yeah, I don't think anybody had this kind of Oxford advantage written down or even in the Reds, as they take their second 5-1 of the afternoon.
Eric Riss made a fantastic gate, and Ryan Tungate stuck his wheel straight in that deep stuff in the second turn, and he slingshotted straight down the back straight. Jack Alder got a little bit out of shape, and towards the end of the race, the two Sheffield boys were fighting each other. And Oxford may finally have cracked what order to put their team in, because this is working.
There's still time for it to F up.
That's true. Jack Alder, though, for a number 1 and Grand Prix winner, 2 points of a possible 6 is appalling.
Not brilliant, is it?
The result of E5 was a win for the rider in red, Eric Riss, second in blue, Rowan Tungate, and third in yellow, Anders Rowe. 5-1 to Oxford. Progressively, 19 points to 11, and Sheffield can now use tactical substitute.
Got the can.
And the aggregate score gets ever closer again. 52-68, so 16 points in it now.
Oof.
And to be honest, the way Rowan Tungate was miles at the back off the start, stuck his wheel in that, and he was gone.
It was. The outside line's working out now really well, and that was a brilliant start there for Merrick as well. So no, they fully deserved their 5-1.
And Jack Holder spent the race trying to get that outside working, but he never really committed. He stuck himself in that place we like to call no man's land.
Cracking holiday destination. I'd highly recommend it.
He didn't look like he was committed to the inside or the outside. He was just round the middle part of the track, which there isn't a lot of gripping. And that's another win for Gate 2. So 3 from 2, 2 from 1, Soddle from 3 or 4.
Basically, yeah.
And this pairing, Zach Cook certainly off Gate 3 here was an impressive winner of Heat 1. Lewis Kerr off Gate 4 was solid enough in Heat 2. Chris Holder was poor in Heat 4 and Magic was poor in Heat 1. 4 line-up going off the inside gate in red for Oxford, Matt Zainowski, Gate 2 in white for Sheffield, Chris Holder, Gate 3 in blue, the guest Zach Cook, and off the outside in yellow Lewis Kerr. Another couple of Pool teammates, and again, more Pool connections off the inside too as well.
Hull versus the rest of the world. Here we go. But
we will come to Alan after Heat 7 as well, see if we've managed to get Heat 3 done at Ipswich or whether we're still going in slow motion.
I've had a quick look myself. We're a little bit further on than Heat 2.
Yay. Now we just need a 5-1 to Oxford here to give us that magic number.
I believe in Magic Janowski. Clap, clap.
Wave your hands side to side and say,
Yeah. Yeah, you know the drill.
Alan, that's gone straight over Alan's head.
To be fair, not a lot goes in there. So start Marshall walks away for Heat number 6. Takes drives away we go. Kerr move, but Janowski's out there at the front, and it's Chris Holder in the second place position with Zach Cook there in third, about to be passed by Lewis Kerr. Is he? Because Kerr goes to the outside. Where the bloody hell is Magic Janowski going? I'll never know, but Zach Cook's come a little bit closer to Chris Holder there in the second place. If Zach Cook would like to get by Chris Holder, that'd be greatly appreciated so we can have a nice massive cheer. But Janowski actually riding this one out like an absolute heat leader, like he should have been doing in Heat number 1, to be honest. But yeah, a big ride here from Janowski, and Chris Holder's going to deny us of what we all want unless anything drastic happens within the next 10 to 15 seconds. But yeah, Janowski leading like a true number 1 should, and Holder's going wide, but it's not quite worked out. Chris Holder's denied us of a cheer. Shame on you.
Good ride by Magic there. Lewis Kerr definitely had a nibble at the start, and he was there or thereabouts early on. I was surprised that weren't stopped. Zach eventually got through on the inside when Louis went wide, but yeah, certainly an unsatisfactory start from my point of view there, to be honest. The result of Heat 6 was a win for the rider in red, Matt Zainowski, second in white Chris Holder, and third in blue Zach Cook. 4-2 to Oxford makes it 23 points to Oxford, 13 to Sheffield. And the aggregate score doesn't give us that way, unfortunately.
Damn you, Chris Holder. Damn you.
The aggregate score moves on to 56 points to 70, so Oxford just claw another couple back, and they're now just 14 behind. And to be honest, Sheffield aren't looking fantastic here.
They're not looking great, are they?
That inside's gone a touch slick now, though.
Hasn't it?
Strange, the Oxford boys are going wide and they're picking up the dirt. The Sheffield boys just aren't committing as wide, and they're not picking up the dirt.
They're not. Maybe they're used to Walton as a curb crawling track.
and there's a lot of rumours going around about Sheffield, and the next few weeks are certainly going to be interesting to see what happens with that.
Very much so. Very much so indeed.
And that's another win
Heat
for
number
Gate 1.
7.
Heat number 7 is at the tapes now. Josh Pickering goes off 1 in white. Charles Wright goes off Gate 2 in red. Justin Sedgman Gate 3 in yellow. Peter Kilderman goes off the outside in blue. He keeps his spot, which means Luke Killeen will go in one of the later races.
Well, I mean, he's out in 8, so I'd assume he'll keep his place in there.
He's got to. He can't make any changes in 8. Rising Star and number 2 has to be in. I mean, I suppose you could put your better reserve in for number 2, but your Rising Star has to be in.
Yeah, man. The joys of being a championship supporter. You can change your reserves in Heat 8.
Peter Kilderman's made that outside line work, and there's been nothing from 3 or 4 yet. If anyone could change that in this one, I'd say it may be Peter Kilderman.
There's every chance. I mean, Charles Wright looked very poor in his last race. Pico also looked very poor in his last race. Pico needs to get his head out of his bottom.
And Sedgy was sort of just there with throws.
Just exists.
Checkered flag, the first heat.
Checkered flag Beckers.
Oh,
And
Sedgy won
that
it.
was a win for Sedgy.
Oh. Well, that went well, didn't he?
Didn't it just?
And that's the first heat win off Gate 3. So, we didn't have any call of that one, but the result was a win for the rider in yellow, Justin Sedgman. Second in white, Josh Pickering. Third in red, Charles Wright. 5-1 to Sheffield this time, brings the scores back a touch to 24 points to 18. And on aggregate, we'll find out in a moment. It was me saying Peter Kilderman might make it work, and Peter Kilderman was miles at the back.
He was. Imagine getting beat by Justin Sedgman.
What a legend, Stoneman on the old spanners for Sedgley.
Hello, Mrs. Stobird.
Hey up, darling.
Throwback to the good old VSC days of Season 1, Episode 2.
That was just from the gate. Both Sheffield
Just
boys were quicker, both the Oxford boys were shizer.
Yeah, it wasn't very good, was it?
That was all over from the second turn. That inside is so slick now, though.
It is. It's very slick now on that inside. But, yeah, fair play to Sheffield. They attacked the track and they made it work in that one.
Charles Wright wanted to go go-karting. He was all over that inside of the go-kart track there.
And Mrs. Now Simon said, saying to Sedgy, do you fancy a tactical ride by old cherub?
Said you like, nah, that was a good win, but sod that. Just want to have a quick run through the scorers, Palmer. If I do Oxford, you to Sheffield.
On then.
Magic Janowski 3, Zach Cook 4, 8 Risk 5 and 1, Ryan Tungate 5 and 1, unbeaten from 2 as well. Charles Wright 3, Peter Kilderman 4 and 1, Luke Killeen 0 from 1 ride.
And for Sheffield, Jack Holder 2, Anders Road 2 and 1, Josh Pickering 3 and 1, Justin Sedgman 3, Chris Holder 2, Lewis Kerr 2, Liam Fleet Flower and 1.
Al, anything from Ipswich Mush?
Yes, we have had 4 heats
Hey!
since we last spoke. They're actually on the move.
Makes a change.
We've had 6, Al.
Yeah, well, we've just had heat number 6, but when I last spoke, we just
4
only had
from
heat
when
2.
Al last gave us a result.
Come on, Palmer, keep up.
It's mad when Alan's throwing shade, Palmer.
Well,
Alright.
heat number 3 was won by Tom Brennan with Adam Ellis in second and Kyle Howarth in third. That 5-1 made the scores 12-6 after 3. Emil Seifuden off one heat number 4, with Drew Kemp and Sam Masters packing in the minor places for a 3-all to make the score 59 after 4. Heat number 5 was won by Max Frick, with Luke Becker in second and Tom Brennan in third. Adam Ellis packed up at the back. That was at 1-5 in favour of the Leicester Lions to make the scores 16-14 after 5. 6. Adam Ellis came back out for another ride and did better this time, finishing second to Sam Masters with Danny King in third. The 3-all to make the scores after 6 heats at 19 points to the Ipswich Witchies, 17 to the Leicester Lions, and 68-58 on aggregate.
We need a 5-1 to Leicester in the next one.
We do indeed.
Just judging by what I've just been sent on a message from my friend, I think that might just have happened.
Oh, go on.
Maybe not. No, it hasn't. She just said it's 1917. I'm like, thanks, love. Al's just told us that.
Thanks, love.
Pico's having
Well-
a good chin wag.
Well, these are having a minute. Shall we have a minute?
Can do, mush.
Hello, welcome back. We just thought we'd share our brand new graphic. Well, it's actually quite an old graphic. We've just switched a little thing up. But yeah, if anybody wants any work doing social media wise, hit us up because we can do it for small fees compared to other people. So yeah, let us know.
That's a big shout out to you, Neil.
Anything happening at Ipswich, Al?
I'm just awaiting a rerun of Heat number 7, another rerun. Lions were on a maximum, and Daniel and Hume decided it was that perfect time to fall off the bike. So we're waiting on the
If
rerun.
Bob has just cost us that magic number.
Well, he will have, because Leicester needed the 5-1 for the magic number.
There might be
Well,
another
I've just got the score update.
Trying to get an update on updates, but it's not showing me.
I've just got the score from Kez.
Go on, take it away.
So Leicester got a 4-2 and it's now 21-all.
Fuck off, Bob, you dick.
Get him out, get him sacked.
He ain't signed, so he can't be sacked.
I'll sack him as a guest.
Penis. Oxford's I'd love to live in that house. I could sit in the window and watch. And set fire to that flag.
What a point.
I'll sack him as a guest.
Taking their time with these track raids tonight, aren't they?
Well, because the no Oxford track shit. Apologies, the Oxford track is poor.
That is
I
Rich
apologise.
McDermott, and Senna Summers is there as well. And there's Josh Marsh, who was actually being monitored the other night, actually at Birmingham, by Dave Peat, legend of a man.
Dave Peat, what boy?
Legend.
What a boy, Dave Peat. Got a lot of time for him. He's a very, very good chap.
It's very rare
bit
you
on the
say
ball.
that about refs, isn't it? Very rare you say it about referees, but he's a nice fella.
Yeah, Dave's all right. Bit of a boring man, but a legend nonetheless. A very bad team manager until his last meeting that he did as a manager.
Did he manage Scunny, I'm right in saying?
Yeah, we had 10 years of it.
Thought so.
His last meeting for us was winning the Knockout Cup in 2023. He knew what he was doing that night. He didn't know what he was doing 10 years prior to it.
At least he learned in the end, you know, better late than never and all that.
Well, yeah, it's a bit like Alan, isn't it, really?
That's become a recurring theme this season as well, isn't it? Referees going to tracks just to watch as on their SCB licence, just watching meetings as neutrals.
I mean, to be fair, Mush, let's be honest. If me and you was SCB referees, we'd be doing the same.
We'd be doing that, yeah. Riders coming out for Heat 8. It's been a long time since, and that's Freddie Hodder spanner in for Leon Flint tonight, the Glasgow teammates working together.
It's been a long time since we saw the last bend of Heat 7, innit?
It's been a long time since Luke Killeen came out as well. He's probably had to go and warm up again.
Probably.
And, we've finally had a win from Gate 3, so now the stats read 3 from 1, 3 from 2, 1 from 3, Soddle from 4, and I think Gate 4 is where Zach Cook finds himself this time. Plenty of Wolves connections in this one. Heat number 8 then going off inside Gate in yellow, Leon Flint. Gate 2 in blue, Luke Killeen. Gate 3 in white, Anders Rowe. And off the outside in red, Zach Cook.
Aye. Can Zach Cook...
I think Anders is the only racer in this race that's not had Wolves connections. There's a lot of connections to a lot of teams going on in this meeting. Luke had connections with Wolves.
Wasn't he a Wolves asset when assets were a thing?
Yeah, I think so.
Thought it was.
Zach obviously raced for Wolves in their last season. Leon raced for Wolves from 2021 till the last season.
Didn't Zach win the last ever meeting at Wolves?
Yes, the Olympique.
The Olympique.
The last individual, I think the very last meeting was the farewell meeting, the team thing.
I think it was actually, now you mention it.
The Olympique was won by Zach, yeah, the last ever one.
So, Heat 8 then. Can Zach Cook aliven the graveyard? That is gate 4. The tapes rise. Away we go. He's made a very poor start there. It's the Sheffield boys that are out there in front with what I believe is Anders Rowe in the front. No, Leon Flint's in the front. Anders Rowe's coming round him now. Just team riding with Flinty and riding this one to perfection at the current point of time. Whereas Zach Cook's battling it out at the back with Luke Colleen. Luke Colleen is bloody awful. And I'm not just saying that because I hate Oxford. I'm saying it because Luke Colleen is bloody awful. Anders Rowe's got a massive lead now, with Flinty having to fend for himself there in second, with Zach Cook looking to go up the inside there. Not quite worked out for Zach just yet, but is getting ever so closer each passing bend, and Anders now really needs to look out for his teammate in this last lap, and try and slow the race down if Sheffield are going to get back into it, but to go down the back straight now. So it's a brilliant ride here from Anders Rowe, who goes round and takes the checkered flag as Sheffield takes their second 5-1 on the bank.
Very experienced ride there from Anders, constantly looking over his shoulder for Leon, and Leon was looking for Anders as well. Zach was there and thereabouts, but just didn't have the speed, and gate 4 again proving to be an issue. But it was a massive 5-1 to Sheffield and to the GB youngsters.
That it is.
Anders is having a fantastic season everywhere, apart from, I think it was it Kings Lynn Monday had a bit of a tough one, but other than that, he's had a really good season. Result of Heat 8 was a win for the rider in white, Anders Rowe, second in yellow Leon Flint, and third in red Zach Cook. 1 point to Oxford, 5 to Sheffield, closes the gap again. Oxford 25, Sheffield 23, and on the old aggregate, the tallies are 58 points to 80.
11 more to go, Oxford. I believe in you.
Just like you believe in Joe Hendry. This was done from the start. Flinty
It
made
was,
a good
it
one.
was.
Anders made a good one. Zach lifted. Luke Killeen was near Swindon somewhere.
There. He was there.
It feels like as the track's changing and evolving, the Oxford boys are struggling with it. All the Sheffield boys are now starting to adapt after taking just a little bit longer than certainly we expected them to, but they would have expected to.
Yeah, 100%. Much 100%. Nice to see Anders having a good meeting. He's a good lad.
Nice fella. Really nice fella.
100%. Heat number 9 out on track now.
Line up of Heat 9 going off the inside gate in white. Not had a brilliant night so far. Chris Holder, gate 2 in blue, unbeaten from his 2 starts. Rowan Tungate, gate 3 in yellow is Lewis Kerr, and gate 4 in red, also unbeaten from his 2 starts. Eric Riss, although he is off that graveyard this time. Chris Holder's been disappointing.
On paper, this should be an Oxford 5-1, so this will be a Sheffield 5-1 now.
Probably. Chris Holder can turn it on at any given moment, and Lewis Kerr was decent in Heat 2, but had a nibble at the start of his last one and cost him a little bit maybe. Eric Riss and Ryan Tungate have looked solid enough though, to be honest, and both gating quick as well, and this move to middle order might do Rowan Tungate the world of good.
A world of blood.
Plenty of gardening going on. We've got a German, 2 Aussies and a Brit.
Nice little international flavour. If these boys want to think about coming up to the tapes, Fat Controller's telling them now.
The Fat Controller in his go-karting suit.
Doesn't do him any favours, does it?
If I wore that, it wouldn't do me any favours either, to be honest.
At least we're honest about ourselves. So, Start Marshall then. walks away for heat number 9. Tapes rise, away we go. It's a very good start there from the inside gate there with Chris Holder, and now what can Lewis Kerr do? Kerr's round the outside there with Rowan Tulgate. Now Eric Riss up the inside of Lewis Kerr. It's all happening here, and Lewis Kerr now looking to come round the outside there, and Riss just uses that inside line to perfection there, and really sorts himself out there for the second place, and he's challenging Chris Holder now to that first. But Lewis Kerr's going around the outside again. Kerr's not giving up till the checkered flag. He heard that I said Sheffield were going to get a 5-1 here. Rowan Tungate's gone back to being normal, but the battle is on at the front really with Chris Holder out in front, Eric Risser in the second position, and the Holder just going a bit wide there. Risky struggled to capitalise on that, and to be fair, Tungate's now looking to come round the outside of Lewis Kerr as we are in the last lap, I believe. And it's a solid win there for Chris Holder, and Tungate's done him.
Lewis Kerr's crap.
Not very good, like.
Every lap there, he was sitting it up and putting his foot down just as he'd come off the turn. Off the second turn, he had his foot down the back straight. Did the same against him forward, down the straight. What an idiot. And he came over the line furious. He's only got himself to blame for that. He was crap. Result of Heat 9 was a win for the rider in white, Chris Holder. Second in red, Eric Riss. And third in blue, Rowan Tungate. 3-all, 28-26 progressively, and 61-83 on aggregate.
8 to go.
Lewis Kerr needs to go into his pit bay and have a word with himself, because that was crap.
It wasn't great, was it?
Every lap he was sitting it up down the straight, putting his foot down. He's throwing his helmet around. I'd be throwing my helmet around if I'd just raced like that as well. Look at him down this one. Did really well there to keep it screwed on. Did all the hard work there. And then they weren't even near the pit gate and he was sat up with his foot down. So he basically had the brake on all the way down the straight. What was he hoping to achieve?
Who knows?
Same again there. Every lap he did that, and then he started to struggle when he switched back to the inside rather than sticking to the outside that had worked for him for 3 laps. And there, not even by the pits, the foot's down. Awful. Is that Proctor on the old spanners for Chris?
That it is.
What a legend.
Tyrone Proctor. What a boy.
His career just fizzled out in the end, didn't it? But Wolves legend was quite injury prone. What gate was Noddy off then?
1.
Another win for 1. Every time I see Josh Pickering's covers, I can't help but think of Ben Trigger.
Josh Pickering, the B-Tech Ben Trigger.
This is the wrong heat, boys. These aren't the riders we've got out here.
No, it isn't.
This is we're on heat 10, boys, not 11.
Somebody want to tell.
They've put the wrong lineup. But the actual lineup. Somebody want to tell BSN. Hey!
There we go.
Gate 1 in yellow, Justin Sedgman. Gate 2 in blue, Zach Cook. Gate 3 in white, Josh Pickering. Gate 4 in red, Matvey Yanofsky. BSN are trying to rush us through.
Well, they are.
I do like these guest tops for this year where they've got the full top half of the body with sleeves on as well. Looks a lot more professional. Better than race jackets in my opinion,
Yeah, 100%. Can't disagree with that. To be fair, and I'm a race jacket fan.
And this pairing got a 5-1 for Sheffield in the last one that we missed.
That they did. Tapes rise, away we go then for heat number 10. It's a very good start there for the Sheffield boys and Zach Cook. Magic Yanofsky's absolutely nowhere to be seen, but it's Zach Cook that has the lead, then followed round by Josh Pickering there in the second place position. Pico goes really wide there to try and gain some ground on Zach Cook there, and the rider in yellow there, Justin Sedgman, holding off the challenge of the home number 1, Magic Yanofsky, and Pickering's getting ever so close to Zach Cook now. Yeah, one little mistake from Zach and Pico will be there or thereabouts. He's ever so close now as they come round turns 3 and 4. Just 1 and 2, sorry, and has Josh done enough to get round Zach? Not quite. Zach's just holding the right line, which isn't allowing Pickering to get round the outside as much as just blocking him now. Pico goes up the inside there, and he's done an absolute brilliant move there on Zach Cook, and Zach Cook's repaired the comp. But this is some cracking stuff here at Oxford Speedway this afternoon as they go down to the line, and Zach Cook takes that one. Pico second, Cedric third, and them three can be applauded for a very good heat of speedway.
Great race between Zach and Pico there. Pico was going wide, Zach was going off the inside, picking up the grip and blocking Pico's run. Pico stormed up the inside, but Zach knew he was going to run wide and then just cut it back. Brilliant race. The result of Heat 10 was a win for the rider in blue, Zach Cook, second in white, Josh Pickering, and third in yellow, Justin Sedgman. Again, points divided 3 apiece, 31 points to 29 progressively, 64 to 86 on aggregate.
Haven't we all just agree on one thing?
We all won an Oxford 5-1 in the next one.
Not quite, but yes. Oxford has probably got the worst number 1 and the worst rising star in the Premiership.
Magic's very hit and miss, and there's literally nothing in between. He was off the graveyard gate there, but he never even made up ground. He made a bad start, he'd left standing, but he never really made up much ground anyway. That inside is so slick now.
That inside's a lot slicker than what most tracks are nowadays, and I'm looking at the track that I'm going to tomorrow.
You wouldn't see it this slick for National League. You would not see it that slick for a National League meeting.
No, well, when we watched that National League meeting the other week, the track looked a bit better than this.
It started out really well, but there's nothing on the inside now. Can we agree that those Sheffield, Bellevue bike covers remind us of Michael Palm-Tofts?
They do a bit from back when Tofty first started.
Yeah, they give me Michael Palm-Toft vibes.
Michael Palm-Toft to Bellevue, here we go.
Pico definitely had the speed there. He was running so wide, and he was the first rider, if anyone of the Sheffield team were going to commit to that wide line, it was going to be Pico all day, weren't it?
Oh, 100%. And this cutback here was perfect.
But Zach knew he'd run wide, so if he stuck to his line, which he did, he was always going to come back up the inside, which he did.
Lovely bit of speedway, that.
You always get that from the Aussies, don't you? They're hard on each other, but they're generally fair with each other, and some good racing there. Zach's done an admirable job, 8 points as a guest. Scored better for these than he has for his own team at the start of the season.
Understandable.
The lineup for Heat 11, going off the inside gate in red, is Charles Wright. Gate 2 in white, Jack Alder. Gate 3, a reserve change. Luke Killeen comes in to replace Peter Kildemand. And off the outside in yellow, winner of Heat 8, impressively, Anders Rowe.
Now, I'm sorry to take your job off you, but Leicester's done us a solid way. Anyway, carry on.
We'll come back to that when we bring Al in after probably this one, to be honest. I think they have an interval after 11 at Oxford. Luke Killeen, with all due respect, is considerably outclassed in this race.
Shit.
He's outclassed in this one, for sure. And we genuinely don't want riders constantly being porked. We don't want riders packing up. He's made a gate. Fucking carnage! Charles Wright's killing everybody.
There's no surprise.
Luke Killeen made a beautiful start then, and Charles Wright has fucked it up for him. That'll be an all four back, I'd imagine, but that was a hard hit for Chris Alder. Although for me, Charles Wright cleaned him up, so I don't know if that's as cut and dry as it may seem, but the Reds were straight on.
It was. For me, Charles Wright goes all day long for that because he's got a reputation of doing such things.
It's Pico going for a stroll over to see if Chris is alright. He took an hard one there, and Luke Killeen had gated as well. He'd made a brilliant gate.
100%.
Them Kevies are doing Pico no favours, and Pico's not a fat fella, but they're doing him no favours.
His undersuit doesn't help it or whatever, does it?
No, you got a point. Be interested to see the replay of that, but Charles Wright has just absolutely clean noddy up there, to be honest. It is nice to see Proctor back around.
100%.
Streams froze.
Just knocked the wind.
So, Chris Alder's had the wind knocked out of him, as Steady was just saying there. Be interested to see what the referee's done there, but for me, Charles Wright just cleaned him up. I think Charles Wright might get away with it because it was on the first term, but anywhere else, a move like that, Charles Wright goes all day long and twice on Sundays.
Well, I mean, I'm just going by the big chat. Craig's put correct call, and Squall's come in and said 100% Wright was out of control.
Looks like Wright's been excluded, and
So,
if he has, that
sounds
is the
like
right
Wright.
decision. Legend, Hutty,
100%.
having a stroll with a bottle of water. What a boy, going for it on that fucking first and second turn.
Is it water or is it vodka?
Well, it's H20 as you like to call it. The Oxford boys are coming over and having a look. Tungate's mechanic, Hutty. So for me, Charles Wright's probably gone there, and if he has, that's the correct decision all day long. He cleaned Noddy up, there was nothing he could do about that.
100%. You got the wrong older mush.
No, Chris is Noddy.
Yeah, it was Jack that went down mush.
Chris, weren't it? Oh, was it 1 and 2?
1 and 2.
Oh, okay. One of the holders was
One of them was, well, it was a holder. It was a, well, we assume it was a bloke, and his last name was Holder.
and he rides for Sheffield.
And he rides for Sheffield. And he's probably an Aussie.
No, that's unproven.
Well, yeah, you've got a point.
We ain't saw who's been disqualified for that. Jack looks a bit knocked about there. No, we don't want his camera angle. We don't want to see the bog. Zach having a chinwag with Jack.
That toilet in the Oxford pits looks very clean.
And all the Oxford boys are checking Jack's alright. I think even they know that Charles Wright's a bit of a dick and that was uncalled for. But to be honest, Jack Alder's not the most calm of people. He's not the kind of rider you want to be pissing off either.
No, 100%. He certainly can have a bit of an attitude on him when things get a little bit tough.
He's the more hot-headed of the Holder boys, isn't he? Chris is more the quieter one, and Chris ain't exactly quiet either.
No, Chris can get the gob on when he wants to.
But he was absolutely cleaned out there. There's no other way to put it. Jack looks in a little bit of discomfort there, and it was a hard smack, to be honest. Are they going to show us a replay? No. Should we bring Al in quickly? So what's going on at Ipswich?
Do we have to?
I suppose we better. Is he dead?
Well, thanks for stealing me thunder, Palmer.
No problem.
No problem, Mosh.
So, where the hell are we? Heat number 7 is where we left off, and it was stopped after Daniel Hume fell at the back while the lines were on a 5-1. The rerun saw the lines gate again, with Ryan Douglas winning that heat and Emil Saifuddin all finishing second with Kyle Howarth in third. That 2-4 levelled everything up to 21 points apiece and 70-62 on aggregate. Heat number 8 was won by Luke Becker with Danny King in second and Jordan Jenkins in third. That 3-all made the scores 24 each and 73-65 on aggregate. Heat number 9 was won by Drew Kemp with Adam Ellis in second and Sam Masters in third. That 2-4 makes the scores 26 to Ipswich, 28 to Leicester, and 75 and Palmer's favourite number on aggregate.
Way!
And 8 number 10. Tom Brennan coming out for the rider replacement ride. And that heat was won by Danny King with Kyle Howarth in second and Ryan Douglas in third with Tom Brennan at the back. That 3-all makes the current scores 29 to Ipswich, 31 to Leicester and 78-72.
Ow.
on aggregate.
Refresh it with that heat 11.
I've just refreshed it. And heat number 11 was won by Emil Saifudanov, Luke Becker in second and Max Frick in third. Another 3-all and it's 32-34. The current scores an 81-75 on aggregate. Palmer got his wish.
Interesting
BRB.
message from Chris
Right.
Harris on the screen there.
Yeah. Boo!
Very interesting message.
Well, maybe Chris Harris should sign for Oxford and then he can produce the racing that he wants.
I wouldn't be mentioning the British final if I was him. He went from first to last and missed out on his wildcard spot. To the fella who's just been disqualified from this one for trying to kill Jack Holder. So Luke Killeen up against it and he's going to score, so there's the bright side.
Well, we say he's going to score, it's not guaranteed.
He should score. There's
He
the
should
bright
score.
side.
That Stella Bird that's just got off, you could add me on Facebook any day of the week.
Jesus. Is there another upset coming at Ipswich? Because it looked like there was going to be one here early on.
They're taking the interval now, so I'd imagine there'll be a big team talk.
Charles Wright is disqualified. For me, the correct decision all day long.
Absolutely the right call, just because his name is Charles Wright.
So no rider off gate 1 in red, gate 2 in white is Jack Holder, gate 3 in blue is the reserve change, Luke Killeen, and off the outside in yellow, Anders Rowe. Luke Killeen had made a blinder of a gate, and as we all know in Speedway, more often than not, the rider that was leading at the time of the stoppage is the rider that misses out in the rerun.
So, what happens here? Does Luke Killeen perform a miracle, or does Sheffield take the lead?
And you've got to favour Sheffield, but if Luke Killeen can gate like that again,
You've got a point.
and to be fair, he does know this track like the back of his hand. He races for the Spires, he raced for the Chargers as well last year, the Cheetahs as well, so he knows this place like the back of his hand.
He knows this place better than he knows his own house.
Yeah.
So, heat 11 then. Back controller walks away.
What a gate.
It's a solid start there as well from Luke Killeen, to be fair. That's concerning, but Jack Holder now up the inside, and what could Rowie do?
my God.
Rowie back up the inside there now, and normal service has resumed, and Luke Killeen now. If Luke Killeen stays on his motorcycle, or motorcycle doesn't break down, he can get a point for the participation award of Heat 11. So, go on, Luke, you're doing well. You can get the participation award. Other than that, not a lot really to comment on. Jack Holder's winning, Anders Rowe is there in second, and they're comfortably ahead of Mr. Participation Award in third. As we go into the last lap now, and Jack Holder showing us why he won the Warsaw GP over the weekend. He's even pulling wheelies down the straight. This is how far he is ahead in front, and he goes round. Takes the checkered flag.
Luke Killeen made a really good start again, but Jack Holder's experience and Luke Killeen doing what Lewis Kerr did, shutting off going into the third and fourth turn. I can understand somewhere like Plymouth, but you've got a lot of room to play with in the third and fourth turn here. So I don't know why he was putting his foot down before, even the pit gate. And the result of Heat 11 was a win for the rider in white, Jack Holder, second in yellow, Anders Rowe, and third in blue, Luke Killeen. 5-1 to Sheffield, puts the Tigers in front now with Oxford 32, Sheffield 34, and that's given Peter Schreck his excuses as well if they lose this meeting, because Charles Wright was disqualified, in certainly in my opinion, justifiably so.
Yeah, it was 100% the right call.
He didn't even try and make the turn, he just straightened up and cleaned Jack out, and anywhere else on the track he goes for that, so why should it be any different just because it's on the first turn?
Exactly. Can you imagine Charles Wright in the Grand Prix riding like that?
Bartek
He's
could
gonna
lap
get
him. Bartek would
He's
lap
good.
him. But
Where?
but he's not going to be afraid to throw it around. Some people may be intimidated by the experience. He's not going to be, but he's playing with the big boys, and he's got to expect if he's going to give it, someone like Freddie Lindgren's going to give it as well. If you're going to give it, you've got to be ready to take it.
I don't think Wright is one of them that will take it. He'll give it out all day long, but nobody's stepped up to him to give him it back.
Well, people will from the Grand Prix. None of them are going to just take it.
Absolutely not.
Jack looks in a little bit of pain there. He looks like he's taking a couple of deep breaths in.
Have some paracetamol, kid. You'll be all right.
That young whippersnapper, Mr. Holder.
That's the one.
The Oxford team having a chinwag with Peter Stroke. Charles Wright still looks a little bit pissed off. I don't know why. He absolutely was rightfully disqualified in that last one.
Maybe he's just pissed out because he's run out of fags for the journey home.
Al, what's your opinions on that last one? See what you mean about the Sheffield names for Sedgwick Kerr. They're miles bigger than
A massive,
than the
aren't
rest.
they?
Yeah, they're huge. Although they're done by SF, both of them are SF suits, whereas the rest are D-Star.
So they have got brand new suits then.
So I'm clear, as the race suits we're talking about, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not bad. Not a bad race suit.
Oh no, the question that we asked was the Charles Wright disqualification.
I'm not gonna lie. I may not have missed that when my headset almost cutting it.
Peters.
But given what everyone else had said, I'm guessing it was the right call.
Anything from Ipswich, Al?
Well, they're on the interval.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. So no then. These are on an interval as well now, actually. So we've got 3 different race suit manufacturers there. We've got D-Star, SF, and Melaniac. A lot of the GP boys and the overseas boys use Melaniac, don't they?
Yeah, I think it's a cheap Polish manufacturer, isn't it? So
yeah, you got a point. And we're now listening to Bart. Well, they're listening to Bartek.
They're listening. We're not.
We're the lucky ones in this situation.
We're listening to people that talk sense, and sometimes Alan chimes in.
Do you want to run us through what's coming up over the next few days with another Bank Holiday Monday on the horizon?
Yeah, it's a
busy weekend.
A big Bank Holiday weekend of Speedway coming up this weekend. Obviously, tomorrow we're at God's Country, or otherwise known as Scunthorpe, as Scunthorpe look to overcome a 20-point deficit as they face Oxford Cheaters, the Cheaters by name and by nature, at the Eddie Wright Raceway. And also happening tomorrow night, more Maxi Cab Knockout Cup action as Edinburgh take on Workington, and the second leg of that meeting will take place on Saturday. Also taking place on Saturday, another Knockout Cup quarter-final first leg at Plymouth as they take on Hull, and obviously they've got the SGP2 qualifier at Glasgow on Saturday night with a 7 o'clock start there. Sunday, National League action at Oxford as Oxford face the Edinburgh Academy. And then we move on to Bank Holiday Monday at 12 o'clock. Leicester face Birmingham. Also at 12 o'clock, Bellevue face Oxford. At 6:30 p.m, Sheffield take on Leicester. At 7:30 p.m, Birmingham take on Kings Lynn. And in the National League, after the Sheffield Leicester meeting, will be the Steelers versus the Leicester Lion Cubs.
Do you want to run us through Wednesday and Thursday? There's nothing on Thursday, but Wednesday, Friday, Saturday?
2 seconds.
Maybe a busy week for watch-alongs next week then, with potentially Saturday, Monday dinner time, Wednesday.
Watch-alongs, potentially we could have the SGP2 qualifier. we don't know yet because there's lots of funny names in there, and we will be showing and foreign insert explicit word A, foreign insert explicit word B, etc., etc., etc. So we're a bit of a maybe on that one. Monday, I believe, we'll be having a little watch along to Leicester versus Birmingham at
That means you've
dinner
got to be
time.
up. That means you've got to be up sometime before midday.
Thanks for reminding me.
But if you get ready to go back to work, it'll do you good and we get to watch some Speedway, as long as it doesn't sod in rain.
Bank holiday weather in it.
Let's check the forecast actually, because it was looking a bit iffy. Because Al's planned his meetings, but the weather may have other ideas.
And then on Wednesday, we're back watching Oxford.
Oxford Radio returns.
As much as I don't think my sins can handle this, but we're watching Oxford Cheetahs versus Scunthorpe for the second time this year because the first time and the first lot of pain wasn't enough.
Monday looks fine for Birmingham, barring the occasional shower in the afternoon. That won't do any
Um,
harm, it'll do the track some good.
But after next Wednesday, ain't got a clue, pal. Oh, potentially Redcar versus Oxford again on Friday.
Because we have a vested interest with Ace riding. Monday dinner time looks fine enough for Leicester as well.
Cool beans.
Anything, and they're back off their interval yet, Al? Or is Alan dead?
Yes, Magic. That's how you shut a toolbox, pal.
I think Alan's dead. He's probably gone for his pudding.
Or he's walking the dog.
Oh, he's walking a dog.
He could be doing anything. Al!
No, dog's took him for a walk.
Hello.
Oh, I can hear him
What's up,
shouting.
Hello.
Hello.
What do I do for you, sir?
Anything going
How-
on at Ipswich?
I'm just checking now.
No.
No, we're still on the interval.
Okay, you could go back to walking a dog then.
Al,
Yeah.
you can walk my dogs on Saturday if you want, all three of them.
One by one.
Oh no, you could have all three at once. It'd be a laugh.
That's all right, Pat. Well, I could take the one and you can take two, and you can go for a long hop.
I'll have you know I walk a bit better now, Al. Not much better, but a bit better.
He won't walk the dogs
Alright,
though,
okay.
because they're not his dogs.
Yeah,
No,
they're not
they
my
are not.
dogs.
Al, you planned out what you're going to be eating yet? You're going to spend so much money on food. It's going to be takeouts all week, isn't it? Or are you eating at tracks?
Tempted to try the food at the tracks.
Don't try
Bunny's
the
food's
Birmingham.
alright.
Birmingham.
To be fair, Al, where you're staying, you've got a whole array of food
I
outlets.
was going to
mate.
say, you've got the beef eater there, and that's nice.
You've
Expensive, but nice.
You've got two pubs, you've got a Mackey's, you've got KFC, you've got Burger King, you've got Subway, and if you're bored of them choices, you've even got Morrison's Cafe.
And then you've got Scunthorpe track as well.
Scunny's just got a
Yeah.
burger van in Palmer. Or is
No,
there
I've
food
got
in
a
the
cafe.
bar?
Yes.
Oh, is there a
Got
bar
a
in
cafe in the
the
bar.
Winning. Al, Tuesday morning or Monday morning actually, 'cause you come down to Brum on the Sunday, don't you? You're staying at Perry Bar. Literally outside the door of your hotel, there's a cafe that does a very nice turkey and stuffing sandwich that Palmer had with a can of Carlin for breakfast.
Yeah.
Thought that was that vending machine.
No,
Oh no,
that
the
was at
vending
the
machine
cafe.
there is cool as well.
Yeah. And Mackey's delivers there, but it don't deliver to the hotel. You have to go over to Goals over the road to get it.
Oh, for God's sake.
I know.
And if
shocking.
you want to do a bit of exercise, there's a place called Goals just around the corner. You can go and play some football by yourself.
We're getting ready for heat
maybe.
number 12.
Reserve switch and blue here as well. Peter in for Colleen.
Killian won't be back out now.
No, he could start his trip to Scunny.
Zach having a chinwag with the Holder boys. The Cook brothers talking to the Holder brothers. Jack still looks a little bit uncomfortable though.
He does.
And some people don't like this in Speedway where the riders chinwag, but they're mates, and especially the Aussies.
How dare two sets of brothers talk to each other?
Despicable. They probably grew up together, to be fair, so they ain't going to worry about what Joe sat behind his computer with his wank sock thinks.
Oi, you leave my dad's sock alone.
No, they've got the wrong heat again. We're on 11, boys. No, we're not. We're on 12, boys. There we go. Anders is doing some jungle gym stuff. He's on a playground watching the meeting.
I'll tell you something, my neighbours are on very, very zesty cigarettes this evening.
Are you getting as high as a kite?
I am.
Hope you ain't scared of heights. Say hello to that hot air balloon over Oxford as well.
Well, what can I say? I've worked in construction for long enough.
Back on with heat 12 then, going off the inside gate in red for the Spires. Eric Rist, gate 2 in yellow, a reserve change for Sheffield. Leon Flint replaces Lewis Kerr. Gate 3 in blue, Peter Kilderman replaces Luke Killeen. And off the outside in white, Josh Pickering. Gate 4 still hasn't had a winner. 4 off gate 1, 5 off gate 2, 2 off gate 3, nothing off gate 4. But if anyone can change that stat, it's Pico.
It's certainly Mr. Pickering.
Can you tell that Peter Kilderman's number 6?
Is he? Wouldn't have gathered.
And BSN are showing the stats that we've literally just said. And we froze.
And we're frozen.
It's the rider in yellow.
Oh, we're off.
So,
We're halfway there.
We're halfway through. Eric Riss currently has the lead with Josh Pickering there in second, Peter Kilderman in third, and I believe that's... Is it that Leon second? No, Leon's at the back. So Eric Riss looking to carry on his rich fame of very good form as he comes round and takes the checkered flag in what may be the second shortest race we've seen all night.
It's getting very dusty there now. Very dusty.
Tell your mate Hutty to get out with the hose pipe and just put a bit of water on it.
I could understand if it was really hot, but it's not. Good win for Risky though.
Very good. Risky's been Oxford's best rider this season.
This season, heat
Yeah.
number 12 was won by the rider in red, Eric Riss. Second in white, Josh Pickering. And third in blue, Peter Kilderman. 4-2 to Oxford, ties us up after 12 at 36 points apiece. And way 69,
Oxford.
93 on aggregate.
Oxford doing us a solid. And just like this, we get to watch the race back. That was a brilliant gate there from Eric Riss.
Leon got himself all kinds of out of shape. Peter Kilderman was there early on. Pico had to come from the back actually. Peter Kilderman goes low. Josh Pickering does not need a second invitation to go around the outside of somebody. And there weren't a lot that Peter Kilderman could do to stop him there. He got himself stuck in our favourite holiday destination.
Always.
No. Man's Land.
There, yeah. I'd recommend it. Get it booked.
Yeah, she's getting a bit dusty now, isn't she?
Just a tad, innit?
Charles Wright's back out here against Jack Holder, ironically enough. Throw Chris Holder and Magic in there for good measure. And Charles Wright's on the outside of Chris Holder. Heat 13, lining up off gate 1 in white. Jack Holder, gate 2 in red. Matt Sayanovsky, gate 3 in yellow. Chris Holder, and off the outside in blue, Charles Wright. These are not very many points for the number 1s and 5s. 5 for each of the holders, 3 for Yanovsky, 3 for Wright. Will Chris Holder try and give Mr. Wright a receipt for heat 11?
Which Mr. Holder?
Christopher.
Jack Wright.
Jack's the complete opposite end of the track to him, though. Jack will have to deal with Magic.
Well, to be fair, the way Magic's gone this evening, I don't think that'll be much of a problem.
He's either shit or bust, isn't he? It's win or nothing at the moment for
all or
Magic.
nothing, innit?
Yeah, there's nothing.
And
Really
there's more
between.
nothing than all at the minute.
You got a point.
So, Start Marshall then walks away for Heat 13. The tapes right away we go. Magic's only made it, but it's Jack there that's out in the lead now. Chris is trying to blast himself round the outside of Magic, and he's done so nicely. Now Chris Alder's got Charles Wright in his sights. Jack Alder's a country mile ahead of Charles Wright, making Wrighty run scared. Janoski now looking to come back up the inside here of Chris Alder, and Holder of the Chris variety. He's gone to the back and he pulls a wheelie down the back straight. But this will certainly keep the meeting tied level at 39 apiece if things stay as they are. But Chris trying absolutely everything to get closer to Magic, who's sitting there in third, but it's not quite happening. Jack's loving life out there in front as he got the last lap to go flag, and there's nothing right he can do about this. He's been schooled on his own track, is Charles Wright, as Jack Alder comes round the third and fourth turns to take the checkered flag.
Jack had a couple of glances back at him there as well. He feels like he wanted to prove a point there.
And he certainly did just that.
Charles Wright's not even acknowledging. Jack's not acknowledging. Noddy, yeah, not great from Noddy, was it? And Magic.
He's just kind of there.
Yeah, Jack had a couple of long looks over his shoulder at Charles Wright and actually slowed down as well, so it felt like he was trying to prove a point there. The result of 13 was a win for the rider in white, Jack Alder, second in blue, Charles Wright, and third in red, Matt Sainofsky. 3 apiece, 39 all. And the old aggregate score is 72.96. Getting straight on with 14 as well. Do we quickly get an update? I will get one from him before the nominations for 15.
We'll get it after this race.
Yeah, we'll have a couple of minutes, won't we then? So we'll get it there. But good ride from Jack Alder then, to be honest.
It was a very good ride. BSN's Rider of the Night is now on, and the nominees are Zach Cook, Eric Riss, Josh Pickering, or Leon Flint.
Eric Riss for me. All day.
For me, Eric Riss. Right, Eric Riss has been voted for, and to no surprise, well, the numbers keep changing at the current point of time, but Leon Flint currently has the lead with 35% of votes. Eric Riss is second with 30%, and Zach Cook in second with 20%, and Josh Pickering in fourth with 15%.
Pico over a chin wag with Jack. Jack does not look impressed.
He's not happy, is he?
And that adds another one to gate 1, so it's 5 apiece from the 2 inside gates now, and the line-up for heat 14. Peter Kilderman goes off the inside gate in blue, Justin Sedgman gate 2 in white, Rowan Tungate gate 3 in red, and that looks like Lewis Kerr has come in to replace Leon Flint off the outside here. That's definitely not Leon.
BSN, if you can sort your graphics out, pal.
Quick look at the gates, 1 and 2, 5 apiece, 3 has got 2, 4 has still got nothing. Other than a paid second last time out, Rowan Tungate's been solid enough, 6 and 2 from 3 so far, and he's on one of the favoured 2 gates as well. No, he's not. He's on a gate that's had a couple of wins. Peter Kilderman's the one on the more favourable gate. Lewis Kerr's in the graveyard.
But it is. So heat number 14, and Start Marshall walks away. And the tapes right away we go, and it's been a very good start there for both the both the Oxford boys there as they look to take a 5-1, but Justin Sedgman coming right up the inside there of Rowan Tungate. It is Peter Kilderman that has the lead. Now, what can Tungate do is he's blasted himself round the outside there, but Sedgman blocks Tungate's line there, which is a beautiful move there. And Sedge is looking to advance to the front now, which is fantastic stuff for Justin Sedgman. Peter Kilderman now just going off his line, and Sedge looking to come up the inside there. And if anything, Tungate's about to go around the outside of it and turn this into an Oxford 5-1. Lewis Kerr's nowhere to be seen at the back. And to be fair, the Oxford pairing are now they're pulling away from the Sheffield boys. As we go into the final lap, then, and yeah, it's Oxford that's going to have the upper hand as we go into the final race. As Peter Kilderman comes round to take the checkered flag in heat number 14.
Lewis Kerr's really crap. Really crap. The result.
And he can't blame it.
Carry on.
He can't even blame it on plastic in his fuel tank.
Result of 14 was a win for the rider in blue, Peter Kilderman. Second in red, Rowan Tungate, and third in white, Justin Sedgman. Lewis Kerr at the back. 5-1 to Oxford makes it 44 points to 40. And they just need a finisher in the last race to secure at the very least a draw. But you'd fancy Oxford to win this now comfortably.
Nah, superheat, here we go.
That pairing for Sheffield always looked weak. One good race for Sedgy, but other than that it's been crap, and Lewis Kerr, other than Heat 2, has done nothing. Literally nothing. I thought he'd made a really good gate here as well. He was there and then he just went skyward, snaked, and that was that. Sedgy made an awful start and got bullied. Rode a smart first couple of turns, but you always felt Tungate on that outside had the advantage. But on a track that started out looking relatively good, it's not great now. This is it.
Not great, is it now?
Al, what's going on at Ipswich, Mush? Doc's stuck in for the walk again. There, he's there.
Oh, sorry, I was trying to get my mouse to work. So we are up to heat number 15 now at Ipswich. Heat 12 was won by Adam Ellis, with Drew Kemp in second and Ryan Douglas in third. That 3-all makes the score 35 to Ipswich, 37 to the Leicester Lions, 84-78 on aggregate. Number 13, Danny King took the RR for Jason Doyle, and the heat was won by Max Frick with Danny King in second and Sam Masters in third. That 2-4 makes the score 37, Ipswich 41 to Leicester and 86-82 on aggregate. Heat 14 was won by Tom Brennan was won by Kyle Howarth with Tom Brennan in second and Daniel Hume in third. That 3-all makes the score 40 to Ipswich, 44 to Leicester, and 89-85 on aggregate. And in Heat 15, Leicester have took gates 1 and 3, with Emil Typhoudanoff in red, Danny King in blue, Luke Becker in white, and Max Frick in yellow.
And looking at the movement around Rowan Tungate's pit there, he's definitely one of the two Oxford riders in this Heat 15. So we've gone to last heat deciders at both, with the away team leading at Ipswich and the home team leading at Oxford. So the two title favourites are potentially about to both lose on the same night.
BRB just crying.
Do you want to run us through the scores, Palmer?
So for Oxford, Magic Noski 4 and 1, Zach Cook 8, Eric Riss 10 and 1, Rowan Tungate 8 and 3, Charles Wright 5, Pete Golden 8 and 1, Luke Clean 1 for Sheffield, Jack Holder 8, Andrews Rose 2, Josh Pickering 7 and 1, Justin Sedgwick 5 and 1, Chris Holder 5, Lewis Kerr 2, Leo Flip 5 and 2. 6 and 2, sorry. I should be at auction here.
I think these write themselves. I'd expect it to be Eric Riss and Rowan Tungate versus Jack Holder and Anders Rowe, probably. You can toss a coin between Rowe and Pico and hold that 2 of the 3 will go. I don't think anybody else out of that Sheffield team will be in.
Final scores in at Ipswich.
Yep. I was just waiting until there was a perfect moment to come in. So the final score at Ipswich was a win for Emilside Fudenoff, Luke Becker in second, and Max Frick in third. That 3 all makes the final score Ipswich 43, Leicester 47, and 92-88 on aggregate.
Jack Alder's in white here. Al, do you want to quickly run us through the individual scorers from that one?
Yep, so for Ipswich, Danny King 10 plus 1, Adam Ellis 9 plus 1, on Brennan 6, Emilside Fudenoff 12 plus 1, Daniel Hume 2 plus 1, and Jordan Jenkins 4 plus 1. For Leicester, Max Brick 8 plus 2, Luke Becker 12 plus 1, Ryan Douglas 5 plus 2, Kyle Howard 7, Sam Masters 6 plus 1, Drew Kemp 9, and Joe Thompson 0.
Brilliant. We obviously can't hear these riders, but with the movement in Tungate's pit and Jack Alder was sat on his bike with a white helmet on, so unless he's riding his bike home, I'd imagine that he's in white here. And Sheffield get gate choice.
That they do.
So an upset, I think that's fair to say, an upset at Foxhall.
It is a little bit.
I know they're under strength, but you'd have still banked on him winning. I think, again, like we said earlier on, I think Dan Thompson was the big miss for that one, not so much Doyley.
100%. I mean, when one Leicester reserve outscores both Ipswich reserves, that's where you know you've gone wrong.
For sure.
Boys, I've got the gates and lineups if you want them.
We'll see them when they come out in a minute, Al.
No worries, I'll let you do it.
Thanks for letting us do it on our own stream. We really appreciate that, Al. What a boy. Oh, and that'll be all from Al for tonight, actually, as he embarks on his journey down to the Old England. He needs to bring a translator with him as well.
Well, to make it worth Alan's time, I might give him a little word to say on the centre green. give him his moment of glory.
And he's coming to you tomorrow. He's coming to me on Sunday, but Monday I'll be at Brum. Wednesday he'll be here for the meeting we're watching, so we'll keep an eye out for him. I'll stand somewhere where we can see you.
Also, don't forget here, you have to pay for your ticket online before you go in. You can't just pay on the gate.
Yeah, you have to book in advance. The riders 3:15 then. Gate 1 in white, Jack Alder. Gate 2 in red, Eric Riss. Gate 3 in yellow, Josh Pickering. And off the outside in blue, Rowan Tungate.
And it is, yeah. Do Risky and Tungate get their third 5-1 of the night together? Does Jack and Pico get their 5-1 and take us to a super heat? Is it a super? It will go to a super heat, won't it? If it's a 5-1 to them.
Yeah.
For the result on the night. I'm pretty sure Sheffield wrapped this up now on
yeah, the aggregate's done. I'm fairly confident Oxford are going to wrap it up on the night.
Yeah, Oxford just need a win at a point
they need
spot.
to avoid a 5-1.
Basically, yeah, what Dill said. So, for one last time then tonight, the Fat Controller walks away, the tapes right away we go. That was an electric start there from the Sheffield boys and Eric Riss, but it's the Sheffield boys currently on a 5-1, but the race has been stopped.
And
probably right. So.
Pico moved. Pico 100% nibbled. Got a bit feisty in that first turn between Risky and Jack as well. Risky trying to clamp Jack down. Tungate not happy with something there. Is he changing bike? Yeah, Pico nibbled. He missed it.
Pico had a bit of a nibble.
But the little bit of contact, but that was unsatisfactory as well. The contact between Jack and Risky was a little bit... Yeah, I think that's the right decision. It was a messy start, as it would often be referred to. I'd imagine there'll be a warning for Pico there. And he's, to be honest, his light bomber is notoriously not a good gator.
100%.
The Oxford boys straight back round to the start. The Oxford will be happy with Tungate improving. Tungate will be happy with him improving as well. Pico doing a bit of work on the bike.
A 100%.
Is that Anders Road doing some spanner in there for Pico?
Might be.
Somebody. Oh no, it's not.
No.
I don't know who that is. But Sheffield didn't gate there, but they emerged from 1 and 2 on a 5-1. But it was a messy first 20 yards or so.
It was, wasn't it?
And Tungate on that graveyard gate, he's got a lot of work to do from there.
Hell of a lot of work to do, Mush. Hell of a lot of work to do.
Same 4 riders, same 4 gates. Don't say if there's a warning or not to Pico, I'd imagine there will be. It was messy.
You'd expect there to be one.
We go again.
That we do. I didn't get the Super 8 drama while I was in Poland last week, so I could do with a bit tonight. Get me hyped for tomorrow. Tapes right away. We go. Pico's made a brilliant start there, and so has Jack Alder. And Sheffield are currently on a 5-1, although the rider in yellow, Josh Pickering, going very wide there, and Eric Riss is about in there in second to win this for the Oxford Spires, although Pico goes all the way round the outside there. Has he done risky? Not quite. He has now. So now the Sheffield boys just need to team ride Jack if he just stays to the inside and just looks towards the outside, as Pico's got the big challenge of Eric Riss on him now. And, well, it looks like if this carries on, we could be on to a Super 8. We're going to lap number 3 now, and these are very good friends. These are just team ride it out now to perfection. Eric Riss just crawling the curb. He's almost admitted defeat here to these boys, as we've got 1 lap left to go. Then, barring any form of mechanical failures, it's going to be a Super 8, and we get an extra race of action for our sins this evening. As we come around the final 2 bends, nobody's crashed, so it's going to be a Super 8.
Yeah, and that's why Pico was in, because he doesn't mind screwing it on wide.
No, he doesn't.
And there'll be a flip of the coin now to see who gets the gates. This gate choice could be all important. This is one where 2nd and 3rd is better than 1st and 4th. Result of 15 was a win for the rider in white, Jack Alder. 2nd in yellow, Josh Pickering, and 3rd in red, Eric Riss. Rowan Tungate at the back. 5-1 to Sheffield makes it 45 all on the night, and the result goes in as a draw. Now we've just got to decide with a superheat who gets the extra point on offer. So Sheffield have wrapped up the aggregate. They've also wrapped up a point for the draw, as have Oxford. It's about who gets the second one. So we'll either have Sheffield leaving with 3 and Oxford 1, or it'll be 2 points apiece. Whiskey made a good start then as well.
He was. Well, Pico just blasted himself round the outside. He knew where the line was. He knew what he was doing. Goes round the outside. Twisty thing, make bike go fast. And that was that.
I'd potentially say there's a case there for Tungate to not be in the Super Heat as well, because he was nowhere near.
I would have to use at least 1 different.
If you heard anything Ian Brennan said, no, you didn't.
There's work being done on Eric Riss's bike, and more work being done on Tungate's, but it's going to be the same 2 again, isn't it? Nobody else is really
I'd imagine
doing
so.
anything. I ain't so sure on that. I'd maybe...
Magic looks like he's getting down and dirty with something.
Yeah, it's going to be Tungate and Riss again.
Tungate and Riss in it.
Mr. Tungate has rubbed somebody's back wheel. You can obviously swap back wheels with whoever's got more tread on. I'd imagine there's been a scrap over who's having Luke Killeen's wheel, given the fact he's only got
Probably.
3 rides. So Diesel toss, we won't hear who's won it, but we'll see by where that goes. Oxford have won it. Simon Stead went for tails, it landed heads.
What a silly sausage.
That's vital with the gates. You don't want to be off gate 4 in this. I'd imagine that's where Pico will be again.
Since the Charles Wright murder of Jack Alder's gone unbeaten.
Yeah, that incident with Wrighty has woke Jack up, innit? And
Certainly woke him up a bit, hasn't it?
Steady's cutting a very different figure now than he was earlier on. He looks much more chirpy.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, 100%. He looks very nervous. Why be nervous, bro? You've already got 2 points in the bag.
And if they take the Super 8 point as well, that's all the points
Would be
they could have
3.
taken, yeah. That would be the point, all the points available to him.
But Risky looks like he's getting ready to go out.
Don't drink that, mate. He's putting it on his Kevlar's.
Why?
He's putting methanol all down his arm. Are you alright, boss?
What's the point? Don't bloody fall off and then your exhaust land on there. You'll be a man on fire. You'll be like Bray Wyatt when Randy Orton comes round to play.
He looks in a little bit of pain. That would heat his arm up. Has he done it for some kind of heat onto his arm? Eric Riss is in red. Ryan Tungate's got his goggles on and he's putting tear-offs on, so he'll be in blue. Eric Riss is going for a quick toilet break. And first and last is nothing here. You need to be packing in the places. Decent-ish crowd, to be honest. But yeah, I'll remember you got to book your tickets in advance at Oxford, not turn up on the day and hope to pay, because you won't get in.
Yeah, no. Yeah, well, if you're listening.
Yeah, I'm listening.
You've got to book your tickets in advance for Oxford.
Is that because they're a special club? Is that what it is?
It's always been the way since they've come back.
Yeah, it has to be fair.
There you.
We had to pre-book everything when we went to the Pairs a couple of years ago there.
It's a good job you told Al that, because he evidently didn't know.
He'd turned up with cash.
He would. Al, how were you paying to get into Brum on Monday?
I was thinking card, but I can pay cash if I need to.
Yeah, if you want to come through the gate I'm on, it's got to be cash. You can't pay card on that one. If you want to go and wait in the queues, then you can pay card.
I'll make sure I've got some cash.
Wonderful.
And also, Al, everything you can pay card at the turnstile at Scunny, but once you're in there, it's cash only. So I get some cash.
I better get myself a bit of cash then.
Something like that now. Josh Pickering is in yellow, so he's definitely going to be off gate 4. Because nobody in their right mind, if they won the toss, would take 2 and 4, and as expected, Oxford took 1 and 3. Eric Riss goes off gate 1 in red, Jack Alder gate 2 in white, Ryan Tungate gate 3 in blue, and Josh Pickering from the graveyard in yellow. And this won't phase Pico. He'll just try and screw it on right around the outside. Shit or bust. There's no in between with him, is there? He'll wind it on and hope for the best.
Isn't.
We'll shut off pretty much straight after this meeting as well.
Yeah.
It's been a long night. As we've just passed
But it has.
2 hours and 13 minutes live, something like that. Even the outside's slick now. I've seen more material on the M6. Oh, God. Oh,
You sound very tired, sir.
I feel very tired, Mush. I won't lie to you.
So, Super Eat time then. For one last time tonight. Definitely this time. Back controller walks away, the tapes right away. We go. It's a very good start there for the Oxford pair. And this is going to win them the extra point, although Jack Alder's there, splitting the Oxford guys there in second, and Pico coming up the inside here of Rowan Tungate. This is all drama, this, and well, this is going to win Sheffield the extra point, and yeah, just let Risky go. To be honest, that's the best thing they could do, really. Just let Risky go, and that's it. To be fair, Rowan Tungate's nowhere near challenging now, so that's it. It's all but done and dusted. Apart from we've got another 200 odd meters to go with one lap left. This track's about as slick as the M25, which is just right for Risky's kind of style. And Sheffield are going to take the win on the night.
And when it became important, Rowan Tungate went missing. So although he's doing well at number 4, when it comes to the big eats, he's still shit. And he really is shit. He was nowhere near from being on a 5-1 in the initial stages to being miles out the back in the end. And Sheffield take all the points that came here for. The result of the Super Heat was a win for the rider in red, Eric Riss. Second in white was Jack Alder, and third in yellow, Josh Pickering. Rowan Tungate was at the back, absolutely useless, useful as a dildo to a nun. Sheffield take all 3 points available to them, although they had to work for it. It goes down as a draw, but Sheffield get the extra point, so it's 3 points to Sheffield, including the aggregate, and 1 point to Oxford. And with Ipswich losing, that makes it interesting at the top of the table. Palmer, do you want to very quickly run us through the scores?
Go on then. So for Oxford, Magic Janowski scored 4 and 1, Zach Cook 8, Eric Riss 11 and 1, Rowan Tungate 8 and 3, Charles Wright 5, Pete Kilderman 8 and 1, Luke Killian 1. For Sheffield, Jack Alder 11, Anders Rowe 7 and 2, Josh Pickering 9 and 2, Justin Sedgman 5 and 1, Chris Holder 5, Lewis Curd 2, Leon Flint 6 and 2.
And do you want to wrap us up while you're at it, boss?
Well, go on then. So that's been me. I've been Dan. He's been Dylan. Al's joined us as well. We hope to see you at Scunthorpe on Friday or Birmingham on Monday. If you don't see us